has stayed consistent. Celebrating 30 years on the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the First Federal program.
And a good Friday morning to you. May the 2nd, as we flip the calendar and one day down and 30 more to go. Good morning, First Federal program.
Good morning, Randy.
Evan joins us this morning. Hello, how's things going?
Going really well.
Good.
Excited for May to be here.
It is. It's a fun time.
Yeah,
Lots of sports things going on.
We're starting baseball up for youth league here.
Yes.
We got one more in the youth league at the house. So it's been fun. Started out with some cold, like usual.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So but then starts warming up and get into the swing of things a little bit.
Talking to somebody the other day about the girls softball parade because
yes.
Same on Saturday. They said they wouldn't know what to do if they didn't have to start it out in a parade with blankets and cold.
Mittens.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's been the experience every single year.
It's been that way for a few years, anyways.
Well, we were just saying May makes us start thinking about the Indy 500. Around here in Indiana.
Be here before you know it.
Yeah.
I think they're already down there going around in circles already.
Around and around. Well, we've got a great interview coming with Julie Shambarger from the Times Theater. We're looking forward to that. And Pacers did it again.
They are. Talking about May and still Pacers still in action, so that's always good.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But they have had some really interesting matchups with the Bucks the last couple of years, and this year I think they played each other 20 times. I saw. Hi, Tanner.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good old Central Division.
Yeah.
Even though divisions don't really matter in the NBA like they used to, they change up the whole structure of the playoffs and the
play-in
games and
yes.
everything. But that division's been strong this year. You got the Cavaliers as the 1 seed, of course. The Pacers as the 4, and then the Bucks were the 5, the Pistons were the 6, and the Bulls were in the play-in.
Yeah,
the
that's right.
was pretty good this year, but the Pacers got it done in 5 games, and I kind of gave up on them in overtime the other night when they got down to 6.
Yeah.
I saw a stat that the teams in that situation in the playoffs were 0 and 1,160 something.
So I wasn't out of my thinking.
No,
I
I think you were right on the money, Tanner.
They came through at the end. Tyrese Halliburton's a pretty clutch player.
Yeah.
Makes big plays when they need him to, and now they're moving on to face Cleveland, who's pretty darn good.
Yeah, they are. They
they'll have their work cut out for them.
Yeah.
Cleveland can shoot, and they were the cream of the crop in the Eastern Conference all year.
And they've built it the right way. I mean, they had the LeBron years.
Yeah.
And then struggled when he went to Miami.
That's right.
They got good again when he came back and won a championship. And struggled again without him, but they built it through draft picks and development and stuff, free agents.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's kind of neat to see if you look back at the Pacers too. I mean, they've
had
worked hard
highs and
over.
lows.
Yeah,
I mean,
they've had a bunch of those. And, indie sports are starting to make their comeback.
Yeah.
You got the Fever and Cam now and getting ready to go.
Yeah.
They'll be starting before you know it.
You got a good roster.
So it's kind of fun for indie sports.
Yeah, the Colts are kind of the ones that maybe aren't in the
Right.
forefront of everybody's mind right now.
Yeah.
But they can easily turn things around too.
That's right.
So it starts with quarterback.
Yeah.
But,
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What happens this year in camp,
Yeah.
right?
They've got 3 quarterbacks that can run the ball.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at least they know what their identity is,
they
I
got
guess.
some options.
Yeah.
Now, which one they just decide to go with?
Yes.
And then that could change during the year too.
Oh, yeah.
Probably will.
And that's the weird part anymore. It used to be you named one and
You're
unless
right.
they were
Or
hurt.
an injury.
Yeah.
That was not
But
anymore.
no,
It's
no,
quick
it's-
leash anymore in the
yeah.
NFL for quarterbacks, coaches,
Flavor of the week.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's with now.
Hey, you had a good day at practice. I'm going to start you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, last thing on the Pacers that you mentioned, Randy, just building team, and they've done a good job. And Tanner, you're talking about the Cavaliers too. I think they've had all of those games against the Bucks 6 players in double digits. So they're really balanced. They move the ball.
Spread it out.
Yep.
Yeah. They're exciting to watch.
Yeah.
And then the fans. I mean, just selling out down there at Cambridge. I mean, just
Loud.
yeah.
There's a relationship there
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
brewing.
that
It's
is
pretty cool.
yeah.
Indiana is a basketball state.
Yeah.
From high school to college to professional, it is the basketball state.
That's cool to see.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I thought you were going to bring up Purdue there for a second.
Well, I mean, I
He just said college.
Yeah.
He just sucked at his
Yeah,
college.
that's all
That was a kindness.
yeah, I'll leave it there. I don't want to jinx anything way months in advance here either. So.
Lots can happen.
Yes, yes.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, we've got some musical trivia today.
Oh
Randy.
no.
This is
This was Evans doing.
Yeah, this
Oh, I can't blame you this time.
No, can't blame
This is
you.
in honor of my favorite band, and then also of Julie being here with the Times Theater. They've had some really fun live acts here the last couple of years. So, what Beatles song was downloaded the most in the United States the first day iTunes began selling their music in 2010?
Oh my.
Do you want to pick from the 20-some
No,
number one hits, or do you want me to give you some
I think we'll
options?
go with the ABCD.
Okay. All right. A is "Here Comes the Sun." You can kind of hear that in your head. "Let It Be" is B.
Okay.
C is "Hey Jude," and D is "Yesterday." We've all heard those so many times.
Yeah.
We can, you know,
Yeah.
we
A
can
case for each one.
almost sing them right
I
now. We're not going
I thought
to.
Tanner liked to stump me. Good.
I know.
Man,
I know.
that takes the
But he
cake
doesn't
down.
usually let me do the trivia, so.
Well, now I understand why.
All right, simmer on that, Randy. We'll,
All right,
we'll
I
move
will.
on to some other sports we haven't talked about.
Yeah, I guess I'll wrap up the NBA playoffs with, of course, Cavaliers, Pacers, round 2. These are conferences set in the Knicks, Celtics. So that'll be a fun one. They don't like each other very much. The Western Conference, though, the two matchups aren't set in stone yet. One of them could be finalized tonight. The Timberwolves, who defeated the Lakers 4-1, kind of surprising result there.
Yeah.
And I saw LeBron is now 2-12 in his last 14 playoff games.
Yeah. I think he worries too much about his son instead of the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's starting to, he's 40 years old. I mean, he's still playing at a very
Yes.
high level.
Right.
But where's the end game here? That's the question with LeBron.
Well, and he was asked after that game, and he didn't really have a good answer.
He's done that the last 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
it seems like.
Just
Is he waiting for his other son that's, I believe, going to Arizona
Yeah.
to enter the league, or is he just trying to get one more championship? Because he's only won one with the Lakers, and it was kind of I'm not going to say tarnished, but it was the bubble season
Yeah.
of the
Oh,
NBA.
I forgot that was
It
the
was the
season
2020,
they won.
which
Oh.
they stopped playing, resumed
Yeah.
it in the summer. So of all the championships, is one kind of with an asterisk, I guess, on it. So
It's
I
a
don't
different
know.
year, that's for sure.
The Lakers say they're building for the future. That's why they made the trade for Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
But even with that, they played well with Luka during the year, got themselves a 3 seed. So you can't really say, well, this team wasn't built to win because you still have Luka and LeBron on that team.
Right.
Right.
So to get beat 4-1 was pretty surprising.
Upset Laker fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Timberwolves are waiting the Rockets and Warriors. That the Warriors actually have a 3-2 lead. That's a 7 seed there. That's a dangerous 7 seed if I've
Yeah.
ever seen one.
I agree.
And then the Thunder are waiting the winner of the Clippers Nuggets, which will be going into Game 7 tomorrow night. Which I know a lot of Colorado sports fans are fired up and mad at the NHL and NBA because the Avalanche forced Game 7 last night against the Stars. Both Game 7s are at the same time tomorrow night.
Oh my goodness.
It's different channels, but the same,
Right.
of course, but the same time. So
Yikes.
The bars will be full, that's
yeah,
for sure.
that's when you need the double box TV. How they used to-
Yeah.
used to be
You're
able to
going
do
out
that.
for that one, I bet.
So
Yeah. Find
Yeah.
a sports place that's got this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
the baseball, you guys were talking baseball at the very start of the program. A lot of local teams doing fairly well so far. Cubs have a 19-13 record. Reds are right behind them at 17-15, and the Cardinals are behind both with a record of 14-18. Over in the American League, you have the Tigers with a record of 20-12. They're playing really good baseball right
Yeah,
now.
they are.
Cleveland's behind them with a record of 18-13, I believe, if I can read my writing. And then the White Sox are 8-23. But the White Sox are not the worst record in baseball.
Not
That's
yet.
the Colorado Rockies.
Not yet.
Sorry,
Who are
Tanner.
just as bad. Who need to sell the team. Their owners need to, but they won't. So
Well, they have a lot in common with each other.
they do. They
Yeah.
do. Both teams probably need new ownership.
Yeah.
They won't do it. So, but baseball's like so just getting in May.
Yeah.
maybe by the end of May you can kind of weed some teams out,
Right.
but such a long season.
There's only 2 you can weed out now. We already mentioned those.
Oh yeah, those two, yeah.
Everybody else still has a chance.
That's fair.
Forward with the other 28.
Yeah.
And then high school spring sports getting into May, of course.
Yeah.
So you're going to be getting the sectional play here soon.
I was
Conference
just
meets.
talking with Cal Stone from Rochester yesterday. Yeah, sectional for softball and baseball and new boys volleyball is all this weekend. Tournament draw. So
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. It feels like it just started. But
Yeah.
That's spring for you.
It is.
So
It is.
It goes pretty quick.
It's the time of year too where you're just thinking about summer.
Yeah.
Hard to concentrate on the schoolwork too.
Yeah, you can see the light in the tunnel for school. Yeah.
Yeah, for those teachers too.
Oh man, everybody
Yeah,
involved.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a grinder
Yeah.
right now.
Got some tidbits here this morning. On this day, 1999, John Elway announced his retirement from the NFL. The Broncos really wanted him to come back and try for a three-peat then, and he just said the body couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So
That ending to his career was pretty
yeah,
exciting.
yeah,
That
you
was
go
awesome.
out on top,
Yeah.
back-to-back Super Bowl champion. It's pretty hard to
Yeah.
beat that.
That's a neat sports story.
Yeah. On this day, 2008, Iron Man was released.
It's a big one.
Yeah, they've
no kidding.
had at least 3, if not more than that. And of course, Iron Man's been in the Avengers movies too.
Yeah, it launched the whole Marvel craze,
Yeah.
I think. didn't
Yep. Yep. They're just big print money. Just anything they touch turns into money. And on this day, 2011, Osama bin Laden was killed.
Wow.
So I was telling Evan this morning. I remember being a freshman at Purdue.
Yeah.
And it was almost the end of freshman year, finals were coming up when that was announced. And campus got pretty lively that night. It was
I bet.
actually pretty cool
Yeah.
seeing the USA chants in the dorms and outside and everything. It was pretty neat. So
I think that was a decade after the 9/11
Yeah.
events.
Yeah.
yeah, now it's been 14 years ago. So yeah.
That's crazy.
And we got some days today. Today's National No Pants Day, and that just means shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to
Skirts,
say
things
some
like that.
short
You
stuff.
still have to
Yeah,
wear
gotta-
clothes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I gotta put that disclaimer out there for everybody. National Space Day. I know Todd's a big fan of space, so
Yep.
it's right up his alley. International Harry Potter Day.
It's a big deal.
Still going. I believe I saw on the internet this week. There's going to be a spin-off series coming to HBO Max, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
A lot of content there.
yeah.
Yeah.
National Brothers and Sisters Day. Help me out here, Evan. This is the title.
Sauvignon Blanc.
There we
Day.
go.
Ah,
Type of wine there.
okay.
I don't know if that was said correctly.
That sounds right. I had it in
It was
my
a
head
good effort.
yesterday, and then I
It's one of those, yeah, you can say to yourself.
Now I want to see it, and I'm live on air. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. So it's Baby Day, National Truffle Day, World Tuna Day. You know, I like fish and seafood, but I'm not a big tuna fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like watching the tuna fishing.
Yeah.
Those are kind of exciting.
National Life Insurance Day, International Tuba Day, and School Lunch Hero Day.
There we go.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, thanks, Tanner.
You're welcome.
A little bit of money news this week. Hey, the markets have bounced back a little bit,
A
Randy.
little bit.
It's S&P was up this week in spite of some news about the GDP being a little bit slow in the first quarter. Hard to really interpret what's going on in the economy just yet. So
Right.
not too much overreaction there. There's a jobs report coming out this morning that, of course, they're looking at the next report about as soon as the
Yeah.
last one was filed. So more clues, but the Dow and S&P have posted 8-day win streaks, and that's generally, I think, a reflection. It sounds like I was reading an article on CNBC about pretty good earnings for the first quarter for public companies. That's kind of what the general sense of the markets usually are, those future earnings for those companies. So not too scary. All right, thinking about First Federal today. We're open till 5 on Fridays. A little bit later. Normally it's 4. So come see us. We can bring you in with a smile, send you out with a smile, and have a good time talking banking. What do you say, Randy?
Sure.
Okay.
Always fun talking money.
Tomorrow we're open 8:30 to noon on Saturdays, and of course our ATM's open all the time, and you can withdraw or deposit there, checks and cash. We're offering the Simply Free checking account, and I asked Tanner to bring the free gift for this cycle, and that's our sunrise clock. Everybody needs one of those in their bedroom.
Yeah.
Help you wake up to some light and excitement. That would have been good in the winter, probably.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
So, hey, if you're thinking about purchasing a home or you want to kind of investigate your options, we suggest you contact Ben Dalton or Stacy Wilson in Rochester or Ryan Austin in Winnemac to get pre-approved today. We can go over all the details and kind of help you identify what might be a good fit in terms of dollars for buying that next house that you've been looking for. And they go so quickly anymore, you kind of want to be prepared.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Not many of them on the market, so they go fast.
That's right. We also have small business lending, so you can contact Zach Reuter at 223-1731. Or it's a good time to be looking at your long-term planning. And we talked about the stock markets here just a minute ago, but you really want to be thinking really long-term so you're prepared when it's time to retire or you've got a good plan to grow your wealth rather than use it all up. So you might want to talk to Mark Blubaugh or Brian Bell of our Financial Services Department for more information on that. And you'd be surprised what you can do with some steady investment over time and not worrying too much when the market goes up or down. All right, like us on Facebook or follow us on X. We do this.
X.
You have to do it too, Randy.
I did just, okay, next. There we go.
Instagram is at FF Banking, LinkedIn, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we've got archived shows on there if you want to hear a little bit more Randy, Tanner, Evan, Todd.
Yeah, way back.
And of course our wonderful guests. That's probably why
That's more,
tune in.
that's
Yeah,
more important.
I think
yeah.
so.
They just fast forward to the game.
That's what we would do, wouldn't it? First Federal is the only locally owned bank in Fulton County, and we don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. We're excited about that opportunity and appreciate everyone's trust in us. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. And our NMLS number is 399927.
How's the remodeling going, just real quick?
Hey, thinking of that, we are remodeling 2 branches at once. Vigorous projects in Bremen and Winnemac. And I tell you what, you ought to go check them out before they're finished, just to really get the full flavor.
Yeah.
But we have really not closed down to get this done. All the work, most of the work's being done at night. And so it's interesting to work through some of that. And I give all of our First Federal family members credit for toughing that out.
Yeah,
but
good deal.
they're gonna be finished on time,
Okay.
maybe even a little early. But
That's always a plus.
by June,
Yeah.
you're gonna see. We'll post some pictures
Yeah.
and have our Community Appreciation Day so everyone can come check it out. And we'll serve some lunch on those days. And we'd love to host you to see this new progress.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
it's
Good
going to
deal.
look really good, and a lot of glass, a lot of images. It's going to be great. Thanks for asking about that.
Yeah.
All right, it's time. We need the drum roll.
Yes, drum roll.
Our guest this morning, back and better than ever, Julie Shambarger from Times Theater. Hi, Julie.
Good morning.
Here, let's fix this for you.
There we go. Good morning, everyone. I brought you some stats.
Oh boy, this is what she knows me too well. I love the numbers.
We'll get to
Lay it on
it.
us, girl.
All right. We are so fortunate. We're open a little over 2 years now, which I cannot believe that.
That's gone very quickly.
But in those 2 years, you get data, you get information, you get,
Feedback.
feedback, absolutely. We have welcomed back a little over 25,000 visitors to Main Street.
Wow.
What?
25,000.
In
That-
2 years.
Blows my mind.
Wow.
And Mr. Gukin, if you're listening out there, my algebra teacher, we have an algebra formula for you.
Whoa, boy. Here we go.
All right. This is national average. Someone that comes to a small town, any town, for an event, especially with art and culture involved, be it a
Okay.
concert or
Yeah.
so much.
Which is exactly what Times Theater's been offering.
Exactly. They bring $40 to $75 to our Main Street per person.
Okay, I see what's coming.
Yeah.
See you,
A
Randy.
little math here.
Yeah, that's $720,000
Oh my
a year.
gosh. I couldn't do that in my head. I'm glad you had that figured out.
So for 2 years,
Wow.
Well, okay, trend that out. That's $1 million next year when you come on the show.
Exactly.
And we cross $1
We're
million
at
by December.
$1.4 million for 2 years.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
And even if we do the low range, we're right at $1 million
No, you're saying 700,000 a year.
a year.
A year.
So we're already past $1 million.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
And any economic development, like conference or workshop you're going to right now, they're all talking about quality of place, quality
right.
of life. We are one of the first generations or populations that have such a choice of where to live.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very true. So
Yeah.
you want to go where it's nice, pretty, and fun.
Yeah.
And lots of things to do.
I can't tell you how many times people say thank you. Like, for you're making retirement easy. You're
Yeah.
giving us something to do. We don't have to drive to Fort Wayne anymore. They're eating at our restaurant. So.
Is there a community forming with people coming back more than once?
Oh, absolutely.
That's neat.
Absolutely. Lots of Warsaw, lots of Fort Wayne. Last week's show, Magic Fest, Valparaiso, and lots of Airbnb traffic too.
And that was the Woodstock.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
And you're also getting a lot of groups wanting to return, right?
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
They're booking next year's as soon as they get done with this year's, right?
It's so funny. Like after the shows, I've got the checks ready, and most of the time, the lead of the band is trying to find me to pin me down on the date,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
So that means they're just having a great time and it's working out well.
And please take it, if you have a second on Facebook, check out the review Magic Fest the band left for us last week. Because we are really trying to do this right. We
Right.
have so many beautiful, generous donors behind us, so many volunteers. And we're trying to hold this standard even when it doesn't. Like sometime
Yeah,
they notice and
the extra effort, the little
exactly,
things.
and they left us a beautiful note, and it speaks a lot about the community.
Well,
That's great.
you're shepherding the ship extremely well, Julie. I mean, think about, so really what we're talking about is we're going to eclipse $2 million in economic value
Absolutely.
this year in
Yeah.
2025. And
It's great. It's unbelievable. And they say all money driven to Main Street, pushed by art and culture. There's a multiplier there that they're just starting.
impacting everyone around.
Absolutely.
That's outstanding. Well, you mentioned the volunteers and all the effort, all of the,
And they need to know that. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we are. There's a saying. There's 5 of us. We're crazy. We talk in code. We run by each other. We're making.
yeah.
We love them. Like they show up every time, and it's without cause. So even our art, some of our, that's all volunteer work.
Wow.
Our murals, we just put
Production.
a new mural up, number 6. It hasn't even been photographed yet. So
Oh.
Jim and Angie, crazy.
I'm going to have to follow you over there after the show.
I'm going to the board of works after this.
Oh, yeah. Well,
All
we're
right.
speaking with Julie Shambarger from the Times Theaters, just giving out some of the stats from first 2 years
It's
of
important.
operation, that we all kind of understand what this is, and there's been a lot of people that have participated in this and supported it over these many years
Absolutely.
leading up to this point. Let's talk about some of the things that are coming at the theater. We mentioned a couple of things here recently, but what's upcoming that we might want to keep an eye on?
Okay, so tomorrow, ACDC Bonfire. They've been together 25 years. They're out of the Chicago area. I've been sold out VIP tables for 2 months.
Oh my
I'm going
goodness.
to go rearrange later today to see if I can fit any more in. Terrific people, big setup. They're going to start setting up at 1 o'clock.
Wow.
Big screens, please know these aren't cover bands or your typical, these are absolute entertainers. They bring giant shows in. So I'm excited about that. Super excited. We got a call from the Evans family. They're coming through. They're in Florida now.
Okay, I saw that on the marquee.
Yep, they're going to be here Thursday.
Brent's got a big following around here.
Oh, they love them. Anytime we announced the last week, anytime I pulled up to the theater for anything, someone was jumping out of the car to get a ticket. hang on. But yeah, summer schedule is not published yet, but getting ready to look for 3 kids movies. We coordinated with the parks program, so kind of line up after you've done at the park, you can come watch a movie.
Julie, you've done a great job, you and the Times Board and volunteers, of serving all the different age levels in the community. That was one thing I wanted to ask you this morning, is just, tell us a little bit about how you're doing that, because I think that's been a neat thing that kind of covers the whole community a little bit.
Well, this project has very little to do with all of us in this room. This is for the little guys that come through on field trips. We had 460 kids at the theater on field trips. I love the field trips.
That's awesome.
And being open for 2 years, the first year they came, they're like, one of them actually asked me, "Why do you work here?" I'm like, "Well, I like popcorn."
Yeah. I love
And
movie
now,
popcorn.
that it is such an honor to see children get to see a movie on that big screen.
Yeah, that's
I
so
mean,
cool.
It's not part of their culture. It meant the world to us.
Yes.
Well,
It's starting
and
to
if you
now.
wanted to keep going, you've got to
We
start
need
with those.
them,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So this year, now they're it.
Yeah.
Not that they weren't last year, but
Yeah.
now they're.
It's a
You can
thing.
see the pride.
Yeah.
They love our women's bathroom is one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen.
We
But
haven't
they love,
seen it.
I haven't seen that. No, I'll have to take Julie's word for that.
Exactly.
Me too.
But they love that. They're like, it's just beautiful.
That's
It's
so
just
cool.
beautiful, and they get it. In preschool classes, and any preschool teachers out there, if you're listening, get a hold of me, because we do a couple shows a month for them during the day. You might have seen Little Lambs walk
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Anything we can do. We do stuff with Manitow Training Center. There's so much behind the scenes. But this has to be for everybody, or it's nothing.
Well, you've done a great job with that, and I appreciate that so much. All right, let's talk about, you mentioned kind of a special tribute to your good friend and supporter.
I'm not great at talking about it yet.
I understand that. We can help you.
Yes. This project has lost 2 very important, Dick Belcher
That's right.
and then Sweet Cindy. So one thing we're doing in her honor, and it's already out there and it's already working, and I know we're talking about a lot, and I will post all this stuff on
Okay,
Facebook.
good.
But Cindy woke up every day.
This is Cindy McLaughlin that
Yeah.
we're talking about.
What can I do for the theater? Volunteer, amazing. So we made a list of things she did every week. And we've got it posted on the theater, Facebook. She did anything from, she'd get us $200 to help pay for hospitality for the bands, or would make someone cook them dinner. That's part of the contract.
Yes, that makes
We
sense.
need to feed them when they come in. She could get a sponsor for a live music event like no one you've ever seen. Kids movies, piece of cake. But there's $50 projects, there's $500 projects.
So anybody can donate in her honor to sponsor and
Absolutely.
support through financial giving some of these things that Cindy did such a great job of to get this thing
She
going.
passed out 1,000 flyers a month.
Wow.
That's a lot of flyers. That's a lot of people contact.
The world, I talked about the only two good things came out of the pandemic, the theater, and we're going back to an old-fashioned way. So,
Yeah. And
they
it's
want
fun.
that flyer.
That's right.
We're working on it. But you will see this on our website. We are a nonprofit,
We need the support. Cindy
need
did
the
a great
support.
job getting people connected, getting
And
people
aware.
engaged and aware.
We have a monitor down in the lobby right now. It's $300. She would have had it paid for a week ago.
That's right.
I can get it paid for. It's just,
Yeah.
I'm a disaster. I'm everywhere.
Well, keep an eye out for
I
that. In honor of Cindy McLaughlin and what she meant, Cindy's List, you can sponsor various things that she used to provide for the theater and help continue her memory.
We're
Okay.
working on a big summer program. We want kids to have free stuff to do this summer, and seniors. And I found them an incredible Elvis, Neil Diamond, Rat Pack guys. So I need a couple corporate sponsors
Okay.
on that side. Get a hold of me. We also have a really big art project we're working on, which is going to be fabulous.
Cool.
For the Spirit Lake Music Jamboree, everyone write down the date, June 19th. Again, I will, no pop quizzes, this will all go on Facebook.
Good.
And, okay, there'll be an important, we've been doing the hard work too. Grants. It was grant season in March. Holy cow. I think Evan got it. I just got in his office and I'm like, I'm going to stick up pencil on my eye.
Why are they always that time of year?
And they're all due the same
I
time.
know.
All of them.
It's
Big,
crazy.
little, and in between. Fulton County Tourism Bureau, being awesome. We got 2 checks yesterday. Thank you. RAMC Roundup, thank you. Indiana Art Commission, nothing's been decided yet, but since we have been open 2 years, we did qualify for a grant.
Wonderful. That's
Or-
great.
And I sat through a panel discussion of our application and others last week. We should know that pretty soon. And then, I dream big, you have to.
Yep.
So there's a Lilly endowment out there, partnered with Governor Holcomb, that was created a couple years ago. $248 million for the state of Indiana for art and culture. They're already catching on to that economic driver.
Yep. There's
So-
reasons they do things like
Well,
this.
it's,
That's right.
it's a thing. It's real and it's here.
So we applied for that one too?
We did. We rallied together. Matt and Julie Sutton, Harry Webb, RDP, the theater, Jim Mulligan. We hopefully knocked their socks off. We did make it. This doesn't mean anything,
Right.
but it means the world to us. But we are in the finals for that as well.
That's wonderful.
And that number had 6 digits in it.
Wow.
So
Great
even
job.
if we got a fraction of that.
That's right.
And I'm going to post the link to that. There'll be a QR code where you can review the draft. That it's a 5-county coalition that applied for it.
Okay.
Cass County actually got 2 projects. I'm so proud of them. The Batman Museum.
Whoa.
But they're I know, but it's different,
Right.
and so are we. So it's wonderful.
Well, we've enjoyed having you on this morning,
Mm-hmm.
Julie, to share all the things going on with Times Theater, to celebrate some of the successes. $2 million of economic impact this year coming up. And you've done a wonderful job, the board's done a wonderful job, and the community wants to be supportive. So thank you for sharing all the different ways that we
Always.
can, things that you're doing. It's been totally exciting. So thanks so much.
Come see ACDC tomorrow.
There you go.
Bonfire.
All right, trivia. What Beatles song was downloaded the most in the U.S. the first day iTunes began selling their music in 2010?
This is
Here
tough.
Comes the Sun, Let It Be, Hey Jude, or Yesterday?
I'm going to go with Hey Jude.
I'm going with Let It Be.
And Tanner said Let It Be, and I would have said Hey Jude, and it's Here Comes the Sun.
Wow.
George Harrison
Okay.
song.
Wow.
It's a good one.
That is a good
Maybe you
one.
can play it
Wonderful.
later.
Yeah, maybe we can find that.
All right, let's end with some words of wisdom from Paulo Coelho, a Brazilian novelist. When you're enthusiastic about what you do, you feel this positive energy. It's very simple.
And with that, so we want to thank Tanner and Evan and Julie. Thank you. And we'll
Thanks,
see you
Randy.
guys next Friday.
All right.